yesterday. Oh, hello, buddy. Wow, how did we not pay attention to this? High ground pile. High ground pile, and Probe is gonna get real fancy over here. But that Overlord is actually going to get the perfect scout immediately for Rogue. But I like it, Waddy. Why not get a little crazy against one of the all-time greats of StarCraft 2?
Definitely one way to switch it up, that's for sure. Well, this Overlord gets to see the pylon like you mentioned. That gives Rogue the chance to already pull a drone over here. I think Probe's in a bit of trouble, right? Because now Rogue can really decide how he wants to approach this. He can go straight into a Roach Roaring aggressively against this if he'd like to. And just having that heads up and not kind of messing around as much early on, I think that's really, really good for him.
Yeah, well, if that pylon just goes up on the high ground immediately, like I feel like for a split second, Rogue could have pulled some workers, but he didn't want to do it. Obviously, by the time the cannon goes up, you don't want to pull drones against this anymore. So Rogue is just going to try to defend with spines. Probe does get the good scout on that as well. Oh, I love these kinds of games, Waddy. That's so wild. Robo goes on the low ground. I don't know, man. I kind of believe. I feel like we're going to see something very weird, and we're going to see these Immortals shine and get a ridiculous amount of kills.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how exactly Rogue continues. The Ling speed and Lings to kind of fight this is always scary because there's not ever any reliable damage onto the Immortals, I feel like, apart from the Spines and the Queens. The Lings are just kind of buffer units, so very interested to see the late game plan. There's a couple of Spines already moving forward, so he's looking to get rid of this high ground pylon, get rid of high ground vision already. Yeah. The Lings are looping around the back, almost as though they want to maybe try and fight some stuff here, see if there's an opportunity, but there is not. The cannons cover the Robo, so Probe covering himself well so far. And I mean, in fairness, this Robo has gotten up very cleanly. Not much issue there at all.
Nope. Obviously, that one cannon is going to be in a bit of danger. Rogue is actually just going to make a few more drones. He feels like that's what he really needs. These cannons are going to get closer and closer. It's going to be an observer first. So I guess Probe really wants to keep that cannon alive. Wants to make sure that Creep doesn't allow these spine crawlers to walk forward and just take out those cannons. This is going to get wild. The Lings, by the way, were on their way to the other side of the map, but then Probe already walked in a safety cannon on his ramp in his main base. So that's why the Lings turned around again.
Yeah, the only thing I do worry about is that Rogue just has two bases very easily from the start, so you can get a lot of Ling production up. And with a lot of Ling production, I do think he's got that real opportunity just to flood in and like fully surround everything here. Maybe before there's even a Prism out or so. Let's see what he decides to do as this Immortal comes through. A few Queens to the front to try and fight this.
Yeah, Rogue is going to have a lot of Ling production, and he's going to have non-stop production of Queens, most likely. But this is still risky, right? We've seen this go wrong. Cannons and batteries are one hell of a drop. The two spine crawlers seems like they were not the best investment. I'm really starting to get a bit hopeful. Probe has been spacing out all his buildings, but I think he's very worried about a Baneling nest. If he sees... I actually think that you win this with cannons, no?
Yeah, this is way too soon, way earlier than I thought it was going to be. He just wants to stop it getting any further forward, which makes some sense, right? If you've got to fall back a bit for the shield batteries, that does affect how much these Immortals can fight, but... Well, that was an expensive trade, though, because he lost a lot of Lings just to take that cancel down.
Yep, one got cancelled, one battery did get killed, to be fair, so at least Probe lost 100 minerals as well, and obviously Probe losing minerals is a bit worse, but since Rogue is not mining gas, and this Observer is just awesome, by the way, because that's really giving Probe all the information he needs to make the correct decisions. If I was Probe, I would stop spacing out my buildings and actually like make a little bit of a wall, right? Make a Sim City, because you want to space them out against Banes, but against just Zerglings, you actually want the buildings to protect each other. And yes, that is a lot of Queens, but I don't really see these Immortals ever going down with this many batteries, this many cannons. More drones on the way is nice and all, but where is Rogue going to take this? Okay, he is building Expand, by the way, on the bottom right side.
Yeah.
Wow, though.
I mean, I like the Expand bottom right side. The idea of that is eventually, if you need to get away, if you can get down there, then you're forcing the Immortals to always be away from batteries and cannons and stuff, right? So it becomes a lot better for you. So you have to give up the natural, but generally you do this with like a Nidus, so that you can obviously Nidus down there reliably.
But he hasn't been mining gas for a long time, and I gotta say, I find this weird. I think a lot of pro Zergs are looking at this point, is like, this doesn't make any sense. If you have 33 drones against a one-base Protoss, why are you not mining gas to give yourself extra options? Like, these three Immortals are just going to town right now, and yes, we've got a lot of Zerglings, but I still believe that's way too many cannons and batteries for Zerglings to ever engage.
Yeah, that's an absolute field, a forest of cannons as the drones are going to fall, but he gets the wall off. A few drones do get out. They'll head down the bottom right-hand side. So There's the evacuation we were talking about. Good play from Probe. Sorry, better play from Rogue, maybe to still get out of there somehow.
I'm actually a bit worried now right now for the main base of Probe. Probe needs to wipe in something immediately. He's going to recall one Immortal then, I guess. Yes, but he needs to start rewalling. I guess, I mean, at least that cannon is going to survive for quite some time, but I wouldn't have minded just one battery rather than all those extra gateways that are very expensive. Oh, well, the Immortals on the other side of the map actually got in a bit of a dangerous position. This game is just wild and I'm loving it.
Yeah, there's so many queens here. They're just going to continue to fight and take attention and buy time for that bottom right base to keep on mining. Remember, Rogue still has the main base mining as well during this. You mentioned before, I'd love to see him start mining some gas.
Yeah, without gas, I just don't think he's ever going to win. Like, yes, he's going to have non-stop lings and queens on the way, but eventually, like, that's just not good enough, right? Like, I think Probe will just keep building cannons and batteries forward. Now, obviously, Probe does know about the hidden base. It's important he doesn't make any mistakes here, because the Immortals are very expensive with a one-base economy. His War Prism took some real damage there, Waddy, and that is a big deal.
Yeah, I'd rather him go up and like elevate it to like where the Overlord is right now, rather than him like going up the ramp, because going up the ramp he's just so far away from batteries. With that many queens, the War Prism dies so quickly, so you really cannot make a mistake there. So yeah, I like this position a lot more. Let's see what he can do with it. The queens are on the War Prism, actually out DPS in the battery that's in range at the moment. He's getting damage on the Prism, Roddy. He gets an Immortal. That's big, but he is going to start losing a queen or two.
Yep, gets an Immortal finally, but one or two queens did go down and a lot of Zerglings went down as well. And don't forget, a lot of queen energy was used there as well. Not a queen does bite the dust. There is still no gas income for Rogue, which means he truly has to start getting some big victories soon. And I don't think he's going to get them, Marty. I'm really starting to become a believer here for Probe. Even if it's 2 base against 1, even if he's down 14 workers, I just feel there's so much micro potential in these Immortals. If Probe doesn't mess up, I think he's going to win this game.
Yeah, but all Probe has to do is keep on microing. The only thing I'm slightly concerned about is getting rid of the bottom right, because he has to do that without batteries, right? Yeah, that's a little bit tougher, but then there's not that much down over there defensively from Rogue. These queens, again, trying to buy as much time as possible, but main base hatchery goes down. That means that all of these drones are just kind of dead weight right now. This is where you should have just had a Nidus. You can get all of this out of here and go to the bottom right, and then I'm a lot more hopeful for Rogue still.
Yep, I think the Immortals can just stand here right now and fight. Don't lose the Prism, of course. The Immortals are going to be able to clean this up. He's taking a little bit of real damage on one of these Immortals. Hey, don't you think that Probe should take the natural of Rogue?
Just expand?
Yeah.
Why? Well, I guess why not, right? It's like super defended. You're never going to lose anything over there. As Rogue is going to lose absolutely everything in the main base right now. These drones still got the surround on the Immortals, just trying to help, just trying to do anything they can. Even a bit of real damage might help in the end, but that's obviously big losses. And you can see now Rogue's economy, only 25 drones to 22 probes. The only thing is, you're right, you do need a base, and there's the natural being taken. You need a basis probe because you are mining out your main.
Yeah, that is going to become problematic, and I love that he's taking this one. You don't want to take the main base of Rogue, because Rogue has been mining of that one a bit longer. There aren't that many resources left there. And this is where things get really interesting. Waddy, it's at this point 29 Zerglings and 6 Queens. If all of that is in one place, sure, the Immortals are in trouble, but will they always be in one place? Finally, by the way, there is gas mining, so we do see a lair on the way. This is where we can't really make any mistakes. I do believe that a couple of the barriers... No, actually, all the barriers are up right now. Probe's going to be really careful, but he does have a recall. Let's not forget about that.
It's just so many Immortals at this stage. The Lings are going to come in from the top side of this. The Queens are on the bottom, and obviously there's only so much you can do in terms of dancing here as the Immortals trying to fight. The Prism super low, Roddy. The Prism can't really micro anything anymore. That one Queen goes to the top and gets it. The Immortals are stranded, and the Immortals will fall. Oh, and that's going to be game. Rogue is...
So, as we get that sorted out, we will, of course, just continue forging forward. Kozan will be back in just a brief amount of time. But, of course, it's getting extra spicy right now as Neeb is gone full NA. And is throwing down this cannon rush here. Now, Mana is getting on top of it with the probes. He does have one probe of his own over on the opposite side of the map. But the coverage right here at the top of the ramp for Jagannatha is going to be pretty decent. But has he done enough is the question. More cannons, more pylons down on the bottom side here. And Neeb's going to slowly start bringing this forward. Now the Forge of Mana is now complete. His own cannons should be able to start coming here. This is going to be kind of an interesting position. I mean, the damage has kind of been done here for Neeb, though. One pylon up on the high ground. Now Mana's going to be forced into trying to zone this out, and this is such a bad position for him to try and play from.
Wow. Gets the Zealot with the probe. How about that? How about calling that a bit of micro right there? Mana does have that defensive cannon, of course. Neeb still trying to make something happen here on the top side. Trying to get his way into the mineral line right here. May still work out. I mean, the cannon, one of them is done right now. It's looking rather dicey right at this moment.
Oh, I mean, this is going to be clearly taking us to a game number 3. Mana hasn't done what he needs to get this stopped, and the one cannon up on the top hasn't even taken any damage yet, Kozan. I mean, I think Neeb has done it at this point. This is a tough spot for Mana to try and play from, but at least he's got another game. GG is called. But Neeb is going to mix this up here. He's going to throw down not only 2 gateways, but a forge? Are you kidding me right now?
Oh,
Neeb.
Where have I seen this before? I've heard about this. This is a new way to do these type of cannon rushes. Just add those 2 gateways in as well. Apparently it's very, 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 very strong. But well, we're gonna see it in action right now.
Oh,
he's got a pylon on the high ground already, right? Walling this off. It's gonna... Actually, I'm not quite sure if that is a full wall off. I believe it is.
Yeah, I think that is, Kozan, and that's going to get really, really weird here because not only is the cannon rush going to be super effective against Mana, but it's going to be followed up behind with Zealot production, so he's going to have units alongside cannons. Oh, you know... I feel bad. I talked up Mana really hard and said, if you fall asleep on Mana, you're going to regret it. But right now, Mana is the one who looks like he's asleep at the wheel.
You know what? It wouldn't be the NA qualifiers without some NA good old strategies right here. Here we go. There's the first Zealots arriving right now. Mana realizing how much more of a commitment this is already. Without it really, you know... already being quite a commitment actually, but there goes down the first gateway. That is rather stressful here for Mana. Of course, he still manages to get one of those Stalkers out, but ultimately these Zealots are just going to be able to push away the gateway forces continuously. Mana, I mean, there's no way he wins this anymore. He's making a Void Ray across the map. Well, he's going to try to.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't even gotten a chance to talk about the proxy Stargate for Mana across the map. So theoretically, this is not over. But Kozan, it's over.
Well,
I think this is in a really tough spot. I mean, this is going to be difficult for Mana to try and come back from. The proxy Stargate will get completed. It is going to be a proxy Void Ray. That shield battery is going to do as much as it possibly can. We'll probably see the battery overcharge as well, just for fun. Before cannons, 2 Zealots in your face, that is going to be real difficult to try and come back from. Yep. I mean, what could Mana do here if he loses?
I feel like he just needs to mine 400 minerals right now. He needs to stop mining gas. He needs to have 400 minerals if he still wants to win this. Or maybe, I don't know. Okay, he has 400. I mean, just think about this, right? If he has that Void Ray,
he's got it.
He should be able to pick up the pylons. Yeah,
oh,
there we go.
Hey,
now he may be able to get the recall. I mean, the Void Ray is going to do a lot of damage overall, and he should be able to deal with the Zealots as well with the Void Ray, right? So his base is going to be okay. He's killing up these probes right now. He can get a recall going as soon as that other Nexus is finished up. I'm a bit surprised Neeb is taking his time attacking the Cyber Core. Also, this is interesting, right? Just
all right, say it with me, chat. Say it with me, chat. NA. I mean, is Neeb throwing right now? Look at the situation that we're in. I mean, Mana has full control of the natural or of the base across the map. I don't know what to make of this.
Neeb's completely out of money. He has no idea where this other Nexus is. He's gonna have to try to find those bases. And he has one Stalker, right, to force this. So, I mean, he needs to kill off these probes. He needs to find this Nexus, and he needs to stop mana from mining from this place.
He's going to get the recall. Oh my gosh. Mana now has a base to mine from. He has an economy. Neeb has nothing. And as long as that Void Ray sits over top of Neeb's Nexus, he doesn't have anything. He has no way to deal with this. I think Mana wins. I think Mana has a real chance to win this out because that Void Ray is going to kill off that Nexus. The only thing that that Mana has to worry about right now is protecting his probes.
Recalling his stuff right now. He still has some probes left over here, but I mean, starting to mine now would be a bit of a weird one, of course. He knows he needs to make it happen right now. He knows he needs to stop mana from mining, basically, and try to force out some sort of a tight situation with his cannons, perhaps. Well, he still has probes, so maybe able to still mine.
That's the last Stalker.
There,
That's the last thing that can hit Void Rays. Oh my gosh, Mana did it. GG is called.